Hey everyone, so today we're going to learn a couple of different methods to making the single crochet stitch. So as you can see, I have crocheted in two different colors and we will have a third color later on, just to show you the difference between these types of single crochet stitches. So what we're doing now is the most simplest form of the single crochet stitch. This is the one that most people learn as beginners. They learn how to hold their hook and they learn how to do the stitch in this way. This is called the yarn over technique. Okay, so two yarn overs, YO/YO. Okay, so if I'm holding my yarn hook like so, what I'm going to do is in the next stitch I will insert my hook, as you can see. Then I'm going to have the yarn over the hook. As you can see, it's over the hook. Then I'm going to pull it through, and then I'm going to have the yarn over the hook again and pull it through those two loops, as you can see there. So this is the first way to learn. So yarn over the hook, pull through, yarn over the hook again and pull through. Last time, yarn over the hook and yarn over the hook. So if you learn how to do that, you've just learned how to make a single crochet, and you'll actually notice that it's kind of got this V-shaped look in these stitches here, and that's how you can tell that it's a yarn over look. The stitches are a little bit less tight, so you can move it a little more. You can see, sometimes you can see a little bit of patching. It depends how much you hold this as well. Sometimes your pieces will end up a little bit larger as well if you use this technique. So that's the yarn over technique. In the second way to make a single crochet stitch, this time we are not doing yarn over and then yarn over again. Instead, we're going to do what's called yarn under and then yarn over. You can see this is what I'm doing in yellow here, and it makes a little bit of a different shape. So whilst the orange makes that V shape with yarn over, the yellow, which is yarn under yarn over, is just going to make kind of a half V shape. So it's a little line and then a V. So let's see how we do this now. Just holding my hook, this is what I'm going to do. I'm going to insert my hook in the next stitch. Then I'm going to have the yarn under, so you can see the yarn is underneath my hook, and I'm going to pull this through now. And then I'm going to have the yarn over my hook and pull it through. So let's do that again. Yarn goes underneath the hook, comes out, and then yarn goes over the hook to pull through those two loops. Again, yarn goes underneath the hook, yarn goes over the hook. Hook in, yarn goes underneath the hook, you've got two loops on the hook, and then yarn goes over the hook. Yarn under, yarn over, yarn under, yarn over. There we go. And finally, our third technique. This time we're going to use a technique with the single crochet stitch that is yarn under and then yarn under again. Okay, so you can see we're kind of making this X shape. It's an X shape all the way around, as you can see in the red. And it's a little bit tighter, so these stitches are tightly knitted together, or crocheted together I should say. And in the end, after I'll tell you the technique, we'll kind of list some of the things that they use for each of these different techniques. So the orange, the yellow, and the red. Alright, so let's learn this yarn under technique. So we're going to insert our hook through. We're going to have the yarn come underneath the hook as we did with the yellow. And then we're going to have the yarn underneath the hook again to finish that single crochet stitch. So hook goes in, yarn under, and then yarn under again. Again, yarn under and yarn under again to pull through those two loops. Let's do a final one here. So yarn will go under, and then yarn will go under and pull through those two loops one more time. So that is finishing there. So I just did a slip stitch there, so that wasn't part of the single crochet technique. But now we have learned our three different ways of doing a single crochet stitch. Let's remember that our yellow was using the yarn over technique, and I feel like this is most commonly used in making clothing pieces, jumpers, beanies, and things like that. They'll use that technique. And then when it comes to the yellow, this is where we did the yarn under first and then the yarn over. And this is what I commonly use in all of my YouTube tutorials and videos. And this is how or what way I use to make the amigurumi products that I have. And it comes out quite nicely as well. The stitches are more tightly packed together. You'll end up with a smaller size in the end compared to if you're using the yarn over technique with the orange. And then finally we have the red style, which was yarn under for that single crochet stitch. And some people use this as well for certain amigurumi styles, and I actually do like this style, and I want to implement it a little bit more in some of my crochet dolls and things like that, so I might end up doing that later on. But currently I do the yellow technique, which is yarn under, yarn over for clothing and other things. And some people do this way for amigurumi as well, but you may often see that it looks a little bit more loose. So when you're adding the stuffing in, you can sometimes see it's a little bit more patchy. You've got larger hole spaces between the stitches and things like that. But if you like that look, then continue, go for it. I use, again, the yarn under, yarn over technique, and may even move to the yarn under technique for a lot of my amigurumi products. So I hope that helps, and I'll see you in the next one.